tuned in to Talks with Peko and Company. I am your host, Nel Peko. Today we're joined in studio by a man with many talents, a man who's into many things, and he goes by the name of Sbusiso Masumbuga, aka the swaggy school teacher. What's up, bro?
How's it going?
You good?
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming over into studio and, coming onto the show. Really appreciate it.
No, thank you for having me, bro.
Yeah. Please tell us, who is the swaggy school teacher?
Yeah. Sure. A very passionate guy about education. Very caring, very giving. And that's what I've been passionate about for a really long time, education.
Yeah.
Very fun, young, unconventional way of teaching. 21st century teacher, to kind of sum it up. Yeah.
That's the stuff right there. Looking at your Insta page, Facebook page, and Twitter, I would say, you more of like a model, a stylist, an influencer, but you chose the route of education. How was the route to education? Which school did you go to firstly?
Okay, so I went to Wordsworth High School, from 2006, 2010.
Yeah,
very long time ago.
Not really, but so.
How I got into everything, basically, sure. I think in high school, people have always liked what I was wearing.
So.
I've always been influenced by my grandfather's style. I don't know any other swaggier than my grandfather. So it started there, the influence started there. My family, I grew up in a family of people that actually like to dress up. My aunts, my uncles, and everybody else. And then got into varsity, went to UJ. Then, did a bit of modeling here and there.
Shout out.
Yeah. For a couple of magazine shoots and all that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, the modeling industry didn't kind of work out for me because I didn't look exotic.
What they think.
Yeah, I was often told I was too pretty or too whatever. There's a lot of things, because I didn't have eyes that were shaped differently and all that stuff. So, that didn't work out. And then I got into the retail industry. So now work for a high-end, high fashion street end fashion line from the UK. And then Chinese, Japanese inspired. You should know what it is if you know your brands. And then worked there for a couple of months. Then I worked for a different brand as well.
Yeah.
Then I actually became a store manager when I was still studying.
So you actually served some time within the retail industry.
Yeah.
What, about 2-3 years?
4 years. About
4 years.
Yeah, no, my duration of being in university, which was 4 years that I was at UJ. So I did that, and then did retail management. That worked out quite well, and then I had a conversation with my boss at that particular time, and I was going up in the fashion industry, or at least in the retail industry, and so I was supposed to actually move to the Netherlands to go and to go to suit school there, and then come back and almost like train the people in South Africa, because I was working for a suit brand at that particular time, and then that didn't work out. So I had and how that didn't work out is that I had a conversation with my boss, and she said to me, "Spoo, I can see that you're passionate about something else. You work hard here because you have to and because you're a hardworking person, but I can see that your passion lies in something else." And we had the conversation, and she asked me, "What is the one thing, or what are you passionate about?" And I was like, "Gee, how do I answer that?" She said, "What is the one thing that you always wanted to be when you were young?"
Yeah.
And it boiled down to me being a teacher.
So wait, the offer to go to Netherlands, did you turn it down?
I had to turn it down. I handed in my resignation the day after I had the conversation with her.
Was she not sour with you or something?
No, she accepted it because she's always wanted to. She always wanted people to do what they actually loved.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, very, very noble of her. Very nice of her to let me go freely. But yeah.
So would you say that the retail industry gave you some skills to actually know how to teach?
Know how to work with people.
Okay.
Yeah, so when I got into a management position, I was very young. I was turning 21 that year. And I had to work with people that were older than me, had to work with people that were younger than me. So it taught me a lot of emotional intelligence, because I always say that I didn't necessarily have, I didn't grow up like the rest of my peers. When some of my peers only went to university, I went to university and worked and did all this other stuff. So I had to be more responsible as well. So all of those qualities and leadership qualities that I've learned in the retail industry kind of helped me out and paved the way.
Yeah.
So by the time when I got into teaching, it kind of worked out quite well for me.
It was quite easy.
Yeah.
Okay. So now wait, I think looking at you, I would say you were like a problematic learner student. Were you a problematic learner
in
student?
school? I talked a lot in school.
Okay.
Yeah, so I got kicked out a lot for talking a lot.
Yeah.
And I think, I watched a video the other day, and it speaks about your talents, your skills, and that's how you formulate what it is that you're purposely here for in the world for.
Yeah.
And and one of the things I was like, what do teachers always do? Is they talk. So So don't, people take it for granted, the little things that they do at a young age, and they're like, oh, maybe I'm a bad person for being like this, or but if you put all of that together and you gather it together, it should work out fine. And look, now I talk for a living.
Yeah.
Since I was a day.
And you teach, sure.
Yeah.
So, what? One of your fears? Wouldn't you say it was like one of the learners will actually disrespect you or something? What are your fears as a teacher?
Sure. Okay. Need to backtrack. So, how I got into teaching? Called my old high school, said, hey, I need a job. I just got a degree.
Okay, yeah.
So went for an interview in December, then I got called in again for an interview in January. Then they said to me, you're starting today, you've got your first subject meeting. Schools are opening the following day.
So like there was no experience in teaching?
No experience in teaching. I studied psychology, so I didn't even study teaching at first.
Wow.
Yeah, so got into it and I had no time to fear anything.
Okay.
Imagine you were told tomorrow that you have your first lesson. You're meeting your first. I had no time to be fearful. I was sort of guided as to how to handle kids at like a little crash course over like a 5-minute chat. But yeah, kids disrespect you if you disrespect them. I always say that teachers always need to make sure that they respect kids first before they expect it. We're in the African culture, we're always taught to respect adults first. But I always believe that in that sort of industry, they're your clients.
Yeah, everyone's equal.
Yeah. And they're your clients. So think of them as your clients. So how do you, and the thing is, you want to create an environment in the classroom where your kids are sort of comfortable with you and are comfortable around you. So yeah.
Which subject are you like comfortable teaching most of the time?
So I teach life orientation and I teach business studies. Sure, I love business studies. I even got an A for it in high school. Love it passionately, love business studies. However, I think the one subject that kind of brings me closer to the kids and it kind of makes me feel like my teaching role is not just of a teacher but like more of a life coach is life orientation. Because there you teach kids skills that are rare, like things that people take for granted. It's a subject that's taken for granted. I mean, who takes life orientation seriously?
We all did. I did. As well, I would. I did.
Yeah. So you teach kids about getting into the right career.
Yeah.
You teach kids about looking after yourself, loving yourself. That is
self-esteem.
Self-esteem. Those are things that are important. People right now that are our age and older are paying people to teach them about self-esteem, to teach them about self-worth. So it's so important that I don't take that teaching that subject for granted. And my kids know. Yeah.
That's a big role right there you're playing. And have you ever taught like maths,
Nah, I'd never teach maths.
Not a numbers person.
Not a numbers person at all. I did maths literacy in school. I didn't even try and do maths. I knew from grade 9 that listen, I'm doing maths literacy, and that's how it worked out for me.
Okay. And then sports. Did you do any sports growing up?
So I only did. I was a chubby kid growing up. Not really much into sports. I did athletics, but I think I did it because I was forced and I was in grade 8. So I did shot put and javelin. Didn't really like it. I was more of I was always on the stage. So I did public speaking, I did debating, I did drama. So that I was that kid.
Okay. Yeah. And would you say that you want to be like a principal of a certain school one day?
Considering having to look at the responsibilities that principals have, it's kind of scary to say that I want to be a principal right now. But I think one of my biggest desires, obviously, is to be in a leadership role in a school. Maybe a principal one day. Like I'm taking it a step at a time. Like maybe in the future. Yeah.
And would you say that within the district, are there bigger roles there? More than like a principal, you know?
Yeah, there are bigger roles, but when you're in district, you don't have the same connection to the kids.
Oh, okay.
I think that's what's important about teaching or teaching at a high school. I mean, I could become a university lecturer, I could become a life coach, whatever it is, but there's just no connection to the people that you're speaking to. Like lecturers don't, like, you know how it is. Like they open that book, they teach whatever it is, they're done with you.
You see them from afar, you know.
They see them from, you don't know every child personally. Whereas being a teacher and being a sports coach and being a principal, you have that connection with the kid. Yeah.
So you don't want to lose that, basically.
Nah, that's like one of the best things about teaching.
Okay, yeah. All right, and what would you say your worst encounter ever since you started teaching? What was the worst thing you've actually faced?
There's a couple of things.
Okay, just like one major one.
One major one. Yo, there's so many. Okay, I think your generic kids being disrespectful.
What would you say is like marking a paper and then you find that it's just empty or something?
Ah, man, that happens all the time. That happens all the time. And I mean, I always advise kids, like, even if you're guessing, like, just write it. But if you're talking about my personal experience as a teacher, I think one of the worst things is children tapping into your own, like, personal life. So because you put, it's very difficult to be an influencer and try to push your own thing on the side using social media. And then, I mean, I can't have my account to be private. Yeah. And then you get kids who literally want to comment about your personal life during a lesson, like mid-lesson.
What?
Yo, so how was Sun City? I'm like, what
are you saying? What are you saying?
We're teaching. I'm teaching. Like, how did it get? How does the conversation
get there? Let's just hope it's during life orientation, and not during your other subjects. Because
it happens. Kids have no boundaries, man. Yeah.
I tend to see some of your learners from your previous school. They would comment, on your pictures and stuff. I'm like, yo, it's actually quite intense. They see everything,
Yeah, they see you put your life out there, and I think more than anything, teachers are public figures. Teachers are public figures, and that is why it's so important. We've got such a big responsibility, apart from just teaching, but we've got a responsibility of modeling good morality, good leadership, because those kids are watching us.
Big time, Because I feel like teachers, you guys are like people that live in glass houses.
Yeah.
They see everything.
Yeah. There's absolutely nothing wrong that I can do. Yeah.
But then would you say that you limit yourself from posting certain things now?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. No. I'm a young person. There's things that I'd love to post. There's things that I'd love to post and that other young people are posting, but because of my line of work, sometimes I do a mistake. That sometimes I post it, and the next morning I'm just like, that's not appropriate.
I think I saw your tweet one time saying that you bumped into your learner in a club.
Yeah.
How's that?
Yeah, so I was at a bar with my friends, normal life. Went out, and then so I was standing around, we were all standing around and having fun, whatever, and I saw a kid walk in, like one of the kids that I teach. And I said to myself, I need to walk out. I need to walk out.
But he should be walking out. Why should you walk out though?
I wasn't about to have that whole that whole conversation with the child at all. I mean, I'm so glad and fortunate that the child didn't see me, because he's never approached me or said anything about it. So I'm assuming he didn't see me. But being a young teacher in this day and age is very difficult, because then you have to choose the kind of places where you go to. There's an issue. There's some teachers who would stay. And still party and party it up, because the thing is, what do you do if a child is 18 years old? They can be in the place.
Okay, yeah, true.
They can be in the same vicinity.
I would say maybe just shift into the VIP section and just lounge there.
That is why I've sort of shifted the idea of going out. I don't go out to places that kind of would compromise my career.
Oh, okay.
So after that encounter, I don't think I've been out to a club. Like I do a market.
Okay, Alright, that's actually quite intense. I mean, what if you actually